Hi, welcome to today's Borax Paper Products Inc. Vendor of the Month webinar. I'm Robert Began, founder of NYC Pulp and Borax Paper Director of Marketing. Today you'll be hearing from Lester LaBelle and special guest Michael Biolsi of Creative Sales and Marketing Group. They will be covering the much anticipated topic, the maturation of takeout packaging. Before we hear from Lester and Mike, we need to recognize our sponsors. Borax Paper Product Inc., a professional service company and a regional distributor of paper products, food service packaging, and janitorial cleaning supplies. NYC Pulp, a blog by Borax offering a fresh look inside the food service industry. Genpack. Genpack has been the industry leader since 1969, manufacturing quality food packaging. From foam hinge containers to oven-ready bakery trays and everything in between, Genpack has the food packaging solutions to fit almost every need. And Creative Sales and Marketing Group, representing the leading manufacturers in food service, janitorial, and the supermarket industries. Creative Sales and Marketing Group is dedicated to marketing the best end-user packaging solutions available today. And promotional consideration provided by Harvest Pro by Genpack. Genpack's Harvest Pro products offer an enhanced environmental solution for your food packaging needs. Harvest Pro hinge products are produced with 40% natural minerals, and Harvest Pro cutlery are made from 40% natural starches, which means this reduces the amount of polypropylene material required in the manufacturing process. The result is a lighter carbon footprint and greater price stability. When your customer needs a greener alternative while still maintaining the highest level of product functionality, choose Harvest Pro by Genpack. As we wait for more attendees to join, let me review the format of our webinar. Our Vendor of the Month webinar lasts for only 30 minutes, so you can easily fit them into your busy schedule. We record each webinar and will email you a link later in the week. During our speaker's presentation, you can use your GoToWebinar controls to ask a question. If you have a question, type it into the question box and hit send. I will choose a few questions at the end of the presentation and post them to Lester and Mike. Thanks again for all of you for spending 30 minutes with us. We know how valuable your time is, so without further ado, let's introduce today's presenters, Lester LaBelle and Mike Biolsi. Lester is a regional sales manager for Genpack, covering the Mid-Atlantic region to the tri-state metro area. He has over 20 years of experience working with supermarkets, restaurants, and food processors. His extensive knowledge and background in food and food packaging allows him to provide a unique and innovative perspective to choosing the right packaging solutions. And special guest Mike Biolsi has over 30 years in the food service industry, representing over a dozen of today's leading manufacturers, Genpack being one of them. If you are uncertain about what lies ahead with the NYC Council and the ban on polystyrene, then this is the webinar for you. Take it away, Lester and Mike.
Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, everybody.
Well, thanks for taking the time to allow us to talk to both your sales reps and your customers about packaging. Today we'll be talking about basically the overall maturation of the takeout package to include throughout our agenda. Next slide, please. Throughout our agenda, we want to talk, or throughout the web broadcast here, we want to talk about how environmental and state legislative issues are going to impact packaging and the different available packaging options. We also want to talk from an insider's perspective on the potential ban of polystyrene, not only in New York City, but in various municipalities. We'll talk briefly about the product versus process debate. What does that mean? What does it really mean to be green? And look at the overall impact of each material, as well as the alternative materials that customers can consider based on their needs and the different types of takeout packaging. Genpack has 20 locations throughout North America. As you can see, the star right in Glens Falls, New York is where our corporate headquarters is, and the closest manufacturing location to New York City is in Middletown, New York. So let's talk briefly about the bans on foam. As everyone is aware, we have a ban on foam that is going to go into effect July of 2015. There are similar polystyrene local ordinances around the country. Certain either counties or towns may ban polystyrene foam. But what we really want to talk about today is what the difference is between the different plastics and understanding the benefits of foam as well as other packaging materials. As this slide represents, we have basically 1 year to show that polystyrene foam has an environmentally effective, economical, and feasible way to be recycled. If not, the ban does take effect in July 2015. This next slide talks about overall facts, and it's a great point of reference regarding polystyrene foam. Not only Genpact, but various manufacturers throughout the U.S. as well as in Canada manufacture foamed polystyrene products, which generates over 20,000 jobs. That's products that are made here, right here in the U.S. of A. Those types of facts are all found on this slide, which is, it's interesting to understand, again, what is green? What is the green footprint of whatever packaging material that you choose? And if you look at the bottom left-hand corner, you can see a QIR code that you can click on and get more fun facts about polystyrene foam. The American Chemistry Council, as Robert pulls this up, the American Chemistry Council is a great resource for not only distributors but restaurants and institutions that want to understand more about packaging and their impact. The slides that Robert's going to slide through now basically give a great introduction to what the number on the bottom of the package refers to. If you look at the first slide, the one on recyclability is for PET. That means that it is the easiest plastic to recycle. What does that mean? That means that taking that plastic bottle, the water bottle is the perfect example of this, being able to clean that plastic to a point so that it is readily and easily reground, recaptured, and brought through the recycle stream so that it can be repurposed into additional packaging. So that's just one example, and we'll get into more, again, these descriptions as well as these products next.
Yeah, this is available on the American Chemistry Council website, so feel free to thumb around the internet and make your way to the website. They have some great resources. Plastic 101 I was checking out the other day, a great educational tool to add to your arsenal.
Okay, here we're going to talk about the various types of packaging and materials that packaging is made from. We're going to briefly go through this. The first is polystyrene, the foamed version. That's basically what we're here to talk about, and the upcoming bans on foam. It is probably your best alternative for insulation. So anything that's hot to the touch is going to feel good in your hand. It's not going to conduct the heat as other products do. It's probably also your best in terms of cost savings and inexpensive packaging to use. We're also going to talk about the recyclability of it later and the pros and cons of foam. The next version of the foam is polystyrene solid version. That's what you see in high impact plates and bowls and takeout packaging. It is a more rigid form of foam, and it is good for durability. PET, which we briefly touched on the American Chemistry Council slide. PET is a solid plastic material. It is probably your best and most recycled form of plastic. It is used in all your water bottles and clear kind of packaging, and it is what is recycled to make more takeout packaging. It is a very clear package, a very durable package. It is not used for any kind of hot takeout. It is used for more of your salad kind of takeout. APET is a more of a crystallized version of PET. It is for crystal clear, almost glass-like applications. CPET is another form of crystallized PET that is really for hot takeout or hot stuff that you could dual oven if you wanted to bake in it or put hot product in it and put it in the oven. You could use that particular plastic. Polypropylene is another plastic that is very good for hot takeout. You see polypropylene in form of deli containers and takeout package for any kind of hot application. Another very recyclable form of plastic. Mineral polypropylene is polypropylene that is mixed with talc or a mineral talc, so you're using less plastic to make your packaging. So you'll see where you'll be 40% of it will be used of talc form, so you use less plastic in the making of the product, making it more green friendly. Fiber. Fiber is the largest growing category in the green arena. Most of the green packaging you see is made from a fibrous material or a bagasse material. It has the look and the feel of green, and it is a great alternative for foam or plastic. Post-consumer recycled content is what we briefly touched on the PET plastic. PET plastic is such a recyclable form of material that they're using it to reformulate and make all kinds of takeout packaging, and you see more and more forms of takeout packaging made with post-consumer waste. A lot of Genpac's AED plastic product is made from post-consumer recycled content.
So let's take a look at packaging materials. And this says at a glance, but it's really a bit of an eye chart, and I must apologize for it, but it allows you to look at all of the different plastics, look at the plastic recycling code that's associated with each form of resin. Gives you the full name, but it's good as long as you understand what foam polystyrene is. The real important columns in this spreadsheet for not only distributor sales reps, but for customers, for the restaurants, for the institutions that are utilizing it, is understanding not only the temperature tolerances, the price of the product, or the recyclability. So if you look at polystyrene as the first, foamed polystyrene as the first item, it's a 6 on the plastic code. Well, what does that mean? It means that it takes far more energy and it's far more costly to recycle than a PET container, as Michael was saying, because that is a 1 on recyclability. Is polystyrene recyclable? Yes, it is recyclable. What is the process? What is the availability to recycle polystyrene? Genpac has partnered with both Pactiv and DART in different areas throughout the country on recycling polystyrene foamed materials. And I know that American Chemistry Council continues to work on getting to the place where we can really easily recycle polystyrene, foamed polystyrene. So packaging materials at a glance, this kind of goes really back to one of our agenda items, how environmental impacts, or how environmentally you want to impact the overall recycle stream. So foam polystyrene, expanded polystyrene, OPS, which is a solid sheet polystyrene, or HIPS, HIPS, which is your high impact, as Michael said. Those are all a 6 on recyclability. But what are the alternative materials? You're gonna see PET or APET at the bottom of that, packaging materials. You have CPET, polypropylene, on this next slide, Robert. But when you're talking to legislators, when you're speaking, please pop back up there. Thank you. When you're speaking to legislators, when you're talking to your customers, and your customers are asking why are you using a polystyrene foam container versus something else, It's understanding the cost, which is in that price column, as you see, fiber, polypropylene, CPET, those types of products, 3 to 4 times to 5 times the cost of polystyrene foam. And compostability. What's the actual, as we said in our agenda, product versus process. Most of the fiber that's utilized in the United States today comes from China. So how are you evaluating your green statement to your customer? How is your customer evaluating your green statement to them as well? So if you decide to go with a fiber product, which Genpack has our Harvest Fiber line, and we're more than willing to provide that to you if that's the option you choose, it's understanding what does it mean to be green. Our fiber and our paper are BPI certified compostable, but what is the true impact to the environment of making that product? From making it in China and being brought across the ocean, the carbon footprint there is far more negative than the polystyrene foam container that is made in Middletown, New York and brought a couple hours south to New York City. It's the environmental impact, it's the personal impact, as the Foam Fact Guide states, talking about the fact that if all polystyrene foam containers were eliminated throughout the country, it would eliminate roughly 20,000 jobs. So there's that environmental impact. It's not just one size fits all and one is better than another. And that's what these slides also show in the packaging materials. Foamed polypropylene has an insulative property that polypropylene, although polypropylene is great for hot foods and can be microwaved and frozen, polypropylene in general is a lot more expensive than foamed polypropylene or foamed polystyrene. So there are a lot of questions that you have to ask yourself when you're deciding on packaging, not only what that environmental impact is, but what you need to do as a restaurateur, as that person that's hearing from the end user on a daily basis, from your customers on a daily basis. Why are you using foam? You have to understand what the options are, as well as understanding what the implications of, not only from a cost standpoint, but from a recycle stream standpoint of what that decision, or how that decision impacts not only you, but down the road. Let's talk about the materials where we play. In Genpack, we have PET in the form of APET and RPET. Now RPET, although we didn't have it in our previous slide, RPET is recycled PET. And all of our AD delis, as Michael said earlier, are made with 30% post-consumer recycled content. So that really, again, it kind of comes back to what Michael was saying as well. It's the soda bottles, it's the water bottles that are recycled, that we reutilize that PET product in order to make new packaging. Polystyrene foam, polystyrene overall, oriented polystyrene and HIPs, as we said earlier, those solid sheet polystyrene containers. We have solid sheet polypropylene containers, textured polypropylene, our SmartSet Pro line that is a textured polypropylene, so it gives that same feel of a foam container, but the functionality of polypropylene. The mineral fill polypropylene, which is our Harvest Pro, as is one of the sponsors for today's webinar. And then we have our Harvest line and Harvest Fiber and Harvest Paper. So let's talk about our environmental advantages from a product standpoint. Touched on a couple of them. Textured polypropylene, which is our SmartSet Pro line. It's a source reduction product because it uses approximately 20% less material versus an injection molded material. Our PET packaging, as we've already discussed, made with 30% post-consumer recycled content. Our CPET is also curbside recyclable at many local recycling centers. Our Harvest Fiber and our Harvest Paper are both BPI certified compostable. And then our mineral fill polypropylene, again, our Harvest Pro is another resource reduced item with 40% of that product being made with natural materials or natural minerals. Our environmentally preferable packaging all falls under our harvest label or harvest by Genpack. Again, paper and fiber, our harvest paper, our harvest fiber are BPI compostable, and our Harvest Pro is a source reduction item, as it's made with 40% natural minerals. It's still microwave safe, still non-absorbent, and it's very cut resistant. So let's talk about environmentally preferable packaging for a second before we move on. Harvest paper, harvest fiber. Harvest fiber is still a paper source, comes from bagasse, as Mike said, will absorb liquid over time. Unless you have some sort of coating on it, it will absorb liquid over time. So that's where Harvest Pro, being a mineral-filled polypropylene container, allows you the functionality of plastic because it has the base polypropylene plastic in it, which means it's freezable and microwavable, but it also, as it says there, it's non-absorbent. It's not going to absorb that liquid. So if you wanted to move away from a foam polystyrene container, these are a couple great options for you, but understanding if you're trying to put a red sauce or really juicy wings into a fiber package, eventually, whether it's Harvest Fiber or any of our competition that also makes fiber type products, that will absorb into the fiber. There's no two ways about it unless there's some sort of coating on the fiber, and that then eliminates the product from being BPI compostable in most cases. Let's talk really quick because Genpack believes that we're not only trying to continue to come up with new resins and new sources for more environmentally safe packaging, but we also strive in our facilities to continue to become more environmentally conscious. For example, our closed loop water system, the reuse of all of our scraps. So as we make those foam containers or as we make those polypropylene containers, we reclaim all of the scrap or the trim around those containers as we form them, and we regrind them, repelletize them, and are able to reutilize that resin again so that there's nothing that goes to waste there. Capturing of our gas emissions for reuse to heat our facilities. And we also have a formal innovation program where we recognize and reward all of our employees throughout the entire company for any green ideas that they're able to bring to fruition within our organization.
Also, another aspect of being green is not just the package, it's the process of making the package. And it has been documented, it takes less energy and less water to make a foam product versus some of the green alternatives. So that also should be taken into consideration when choosing or considering green.
So in recap, choosing the right packaging comes down to understanding what plastic is the base plastic, understanding what the functionality of that package needs to be. So if you're trying to serve hot foods, you really wouldn't be looking at an APET item or APET item in order to serve those hot foods, because if you look back at that material packaging at a glance, you will see that PET has a very low melt temperature and it's not good for hot foods. And as Michael said earlier, how well does the lid fit? Do you need something better than a foam container or even better than a fiber container when it comes to leak resistance? A very saucy meal, you'll have to look at our Harvest Pro line because it has a lot better locking mechanism for you. Can you repurpose a few sizes for different food choices? Standardizing your packaging, standardizing your look to your end users, to your customers is key in the decision-making process. Do you want to use a Harvest Pro for one item and a Harvest Fiber for another, and maybe you use polystyrene foam for doggy bags, but if you're going to sell that $20 steak, you want to use that either Harvest Pro or our Smart Set Pro line to really set it off with the black bottom and the clear top of the Smart Set Pro. Really sets the stage for a better experience for your customer. And number 7 is the most key. And as we go through the potential of a polystyrene foam band, what's your packaging budget? Can you charge more for a better performing product or a better fit or a better look? Because at the end of the day, if it costs you a quarter more and you cannot pass that on to your customer, that's a margin negative impact for you.
Also, it's not only choosing the right package, it's choosing the right package for the right application. That basically summarizes these 7 bullet points, because you need the right package for the right job, or it's going to fail.
So you can look at the Genpack website. We have, just like American Chemistry Council, we have the entire green room. If you go into the Resource Center and green room, you can order samples of any of our products there. But there are a lot of great resources, be it the Fun Foam fact sheet as well as other foam facts about product specs for any of our products that are on our website. You can also sign up on the right-hand side of our website for product updates via email. We don't sell the list. We utilize it for internal purpose so that we can alert those people that are interested in specific packaging options as we come out with new resins or new ways to be more environmentally conscious as we move forward. This is a vehicle we use through email to let you know what we're doing. And it's a real easy way to learn more about Genpack.
It's very easy for people, legislators and politicians, to say foam is no good. Education is paramount in this situation. Learn about products, learn about the alternatives, learn about how foam is produced and how it is not bad for the environment. That's the key to this webinar. That's the key to this website, and it's the key to all of our material to read and learn about, is to educate yourself on this position right now.
All right, you can also follow Genpack on social media, guys, Facebook, Twitter. They have their own blog, as mentioned. They have some great YouTube videos. We'll link to them on our website, but definitely check out the Genpack YouTube channel. Some great resources there. So we have a couple questions, but before we get into the questions, let's just do a recap and thank our sponsors again: Borax Paper Products, a professional service company and a regional distributor of paper products, food service packaging, and janitorial cleaning supplies. NYC Pulp, a blog by Borax, offering a fresh look inside the food service industry. Genpack, from foam hinge containers to oven-ready bakery trays and everything in between, we have the food packaging solutions to fit almost every need. And Creative Sales and Marketing, dedicated to providing the best end-user solutions from those firms who can become significant in their own specialties. Now on to 2 questions, Mike. It's actually a 2-part, Mike and Lester. 2-part question. Where is the nearest compost facility to NYC? And what are people doing with their compost, and where is it going? Because we don't hear much about it on the street.
Well, let's talk about composting in general. For your customers, for your sales reps, for your customers, and for those general public, the easiest way that we have found to find a compost facility by you is a real easy website. It's called findacomposter.com. Findacomposter.com. And you can search by state. So if you were to do that, you're going to find 2 in New Jersey, 1 in Newark and 1 in Ewing. So those are the closest really to New York that state that they'll take outside composting materials. The one part that we have to remind everyone, though, is it needs to be a commercial compost site. The BPI certification is for commercial compostability. So understanding that commercial compostability means that it is not something that you can put in with your vegetables out back of your house and stir up every once in a while and it will compost properly. It's understanding that. And as Michael said, get informed and educate yourself about composting and about compost sites before you choose to bring the product there. And I apologize, Robert, if you could repeat the second part of that question.
So what are people doing with their compost now? People are buying green products out there. Where are they going? What are they doing with them?
This is the crux of the problem. And this is the crux of the upcoming ban. And this is the crux of this webinar. People are buying green alternative product, which we have. So we have no agenda here. We have both foam and we have green-related product. The problem is the green-related product is going into the main waste stream. That was why the question was brought up about compostability and where are the composters. There aren't many, or if any, in this area. So the bagasse product, the PLA product, are all going into the main waste stream, which has a negative effect on recyclability and the quality of recyclability of recycled products. So that's the main part of this problem. And politicians are trying to enforce a ban without really thinking it through. And the alternative product is not necessarily the way to go. The way to go in this particular matter is educating yourself on foam-based product, like I said before, and educating yourself on the alternative product and see where it works for you in your place of business. I mean, that's basically is the nuts and bolts of this.
Yeah, absolutely. They are jumping. We do have a year to figure out where we're going to go with this, and it's education like this that's going to help our customers and our end users, better prepare for what does lie ahead. So that's all the time we have for today, guys. I'd like to thank our presenters, Lester and Mike, and of course our audience. If you have any questions that we could not address today, please email me at info@borexpaper.com and we'll get back to you. Also, remember, we will be emailing you a link of this webinar later in the week so you can refer to it over and over again, so don't worry. We'd like to do a quick shout out for our next webinar, Vendor of the Month, Dart, and learning some grab-and-go menu options with the right packaging and how to choose the right packaging. Also, check out our blog, our Borax Paper blog, www.borexpaper.com, and check out NYC Pulp. And feel free to join us on the social platform and like us, follow us, and check out our new Pinterest catalog product board. It's pretty cool. So that's all the time we have for today, folks. We'll see you next month.